Hello, and welcome to the Hat Chat podcast with your hosts, Chris Trott.
Ross Hornby.
And I'm Alex Smith, and I didn't hear the intro fingal. I hope it was excellent. Who was it from?
I'm sure it's great, yeah.
Sampo Lauren. Thank you kindly. You sent this quite a while ago, and it kind of got muddled up in the folder of intros, but your time is now. Here it is.
This is it. Hopefully you're still listening to the podcast. We haven't lost you by this point. Episode 29.
29.
Wow.
That's exactly how
of
old
the
I'm
new
not.
ones as well. There were ones before this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there were
29
before this,
Yeah.
of the new
But
series.
I mean, it is 29 of this new series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct. I don't know how many we did before.
Pretty cool.
We kind of did a refresh. Quite
Felt
a
like
lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
Triforce are on the hundreds something, aren't they? 120 or whatever.
Blimey.
Yeah, but they just talk about any old bullshit, don't they? They don't tackle the hard issues like we do.
Yeah. And I'm sure we're going to get to the
Yeah.
real gritty reality of everything today. So before we get started, once again, thank you for listening and supporting us.
Indeed.
We really appreciate it. Any
In a
final
big way,
words,
yeah,
Ross,
thank you.
before you have to...
Final words.
Yeah,
What?
final words. This is Ross's
mean
Last
final
will
words?
and
Well,
testament,
thanks
if
to
you
everyone
will.
who's supporting us and literally paying money to Patreon to make this a thing. So thanks for that.
Yeah, and sorry,
That's-
Ross.
that's my
this
last
is,
words.
Probably should have told you this, but you're no longer in Hat Chat anymore.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this how we do this now? We're
Well,
just going
Smith's
to do
got
it
some lizards.
He's clapping me. Don't clap me. Don't clap me away. I'm not. Whoa. Save those for the NHS, mate. That's not for me.
I will give you a
Save
final...
those claps for the NHS.
Please do. Yeah, it's doing a lot.
But yeah, no, I was just joking. So I'd pull your leg because I started going insane, self-isolating. So that's the way it goes. Thank you
Yeah.
for that fingal. If you want to send your fingal in because I'm running low, please send it in
Yeah,
to
please do.
hatchat@hat-films.com. You see that? Ding dong.
I see it's on the screen.
Wow.
If you
There it is.
Live
watch
queue. Wow, look at that.
Very
Um,
there.
That
Trott,
isn't-
you're a vision mixer, Harry.
I am. I was born to vision mix. For this podcast.
Are you enjoying mixing people's vision? People on, audio listeners they don't give a fuck about your vision mixing, quite frankly, Trott. They couldn't care less.
Yeah.
You're literally doing nothing for them.
No, but it feels good.
How does that make you feel?
So thank you for making me
Small.
feel like shit, ultimately. Podcast listeners, for not watching the video.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Go to hat-films.com because I want to hear your fingals. We need more. Thank you.
yes, please. You've got loads of time now. Surely,
Loads of time.
everyone's got time to just sit around making fingals non-stop, right?
Indeed.
Non-stop fingling myself. I'm fingling myself silly, if I'm honest
Yeah.
with you.
Dirty fingling. Fingling?
Goddamn
Fingerling.
fingler. Anyway, what are we going to talk about today? Well,
I'd like to
the-
talk about one thing, actually, Chris.
Go
Hold on.
Alex.
It's very
Wow, okay,
important.
here we go.
Can it stop being so sunny outside? Like,
Yeah.
I don't have a garden. I imagine a lot of our
You don't
listeners
even have a balcony.
don't either.
No.
I don't even have a balcony. It's just I'm stuck in this fucking flat, which is nice. It's spacious. It's got all the things I like in it. But like, it's been so sunny solidly for the last 2 weeks, and it's just like, it's boiling in here. I'm running like a computer and
Oh,
God knows
God,
what else,
yeah.
some reptile lamps. But like, B, it's just I want to be outside, and it's like I feel like it's such a bad thing to go outside, even for your hour of exercise. Like, not judging people for doing it, but it's like if there is a risk to you catching it, you're like, well, I'm not going to go outside. But then my sister's like, oh, next door neighbors, the grandparents of their kids are up from Newquay today, giving them like eggs and stuff. So these people have driven like 3 hours just to come and see their grandkids to give them Easter eggs.
Oh my God.
And it's just like,
Well,
there's a bunch, there's a huge segment of the UK that are acting like that. They still aren't doing shit.
Well, I
Anyway.
need to go see family, don't I? Give me Easter eggs.
Well, it depends. Are they giving them Easter eggs and like drop them out the front door and then leaving? They're just dropping
No.
and dipping.
No,
Or
no,
are they sticking
they're in
around
the
and go,
garden.
oh, I'll have one
apparently.
cup of tea. There's no harm in that. No harm in a cup of
Yeah,
tea.
yeah.
Stay 2 meters
Yeah.
away and all that jazz. Like, but still, I guess the risk is there. Yeah, because didn't
It
that
is,
health
yeah.
inspector dude get told off recently because he drove 50 odd miles to his parents'
Yeah.
house, and they were equally chastising him for that. Like, it's hard to say because obviously, like in certain cases, yeah, maybe you're helping somebody else out, maybe you're delivering, essential stuff, but I don't
Not
know.
Easter eggs, Ross. Easter eggs, I don't think
Not
are
Easter eggs.
essential.
That's not essential. No, you're right.
And I understand,
Not
yeah,
essential.
you know, you want to keep tradition and see family and shit, but do you want them to die? That's up to you. That's on you. Ultimately, you're carrying a disease.
All right,
and
Charles.
in Easter
I didn't
egg.
mean to make it quite so like
joking.
I just
That's
cutting
laced
out.
with humour.
Responsible.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we've
But
all.
you're right.
we've
There
all-
are some people who don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
There are.
There's
that,
people
that's
drag
the, that's the
racing
thing
along
that
this
I'm
road.
surprised by already. Like, I can't believe that some people still aren't shooketh enough to actually behave in a certain way that would stop them from fucking doing stuff like this.
I think
It's
that's
just like
unfortunately
you
human
realize
nature.
like how bad this is, right? And they just
Yeah, that's the
don't.
problem.
Yeah,
I
well, that's
think
the thing.
it kind of takes for some people, not us or our wonderful audience per se, but it takes something tragic to happen close to someone for them to actually act upon it retroactively rather than preventative, rather than you know.
Well, that's the thing. As
Yeah.
time goes on, and
Yeah.
we kind of get numbed to the news reports and the numbers of deaths and stuff until it happens to you almost directly to
It
somebody
depends,
else you
yeah,
know.
exactly. If it's
It
not in
don't-
your
it won't hit
neighborhood,
in the same way. So there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I'm fucking bored. I got nothing to do. Those guys are outside. Why can't I be?" And it's like, well, yeah. Until it hits you, I don't think people are going to really take it fully seriously. Do you know what I mean?
and then by then it's
Yeah.
too late.
I would have thought like the
because-
Prime Minister getting it would have been a big kind of like, oh, holy shit, this is kind of like very fucking
Yeah.
serious. Like when you see that, when you're seeing it in presented in such a way, like, oh, a world leader or whatever is struck down with it to a point where they're in intensive care.
But then
There's
he had
always
the
an,
audacity to survive, so there's no lesson there now.
Audacity.
Anyone can recover from
Well,
it.
I'd
Is the
almost like-
lesson that
I'd
he's
almost-
instilled now.
Yeah, as bizarre as it sounds, I almost hope there was a point where he was thinking, God, maybe I should make a change. Maybe I should do something good for these people who are saving my fucking life, like rather than clapping when they don't get their fucking raises and shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know it politicizes it.
Maybe
etc.,
maybe they'll
but
get there. I don't know.
I wonder if there's a kind of a mental turning point where he's like, fuck, they saved my ass.
I hope
Maybe
so.
repay the favor at some
I
point.
do hope so. But until then, we're going to do our weekly clap to thank the NHS.
Yeah, indeed. Have you been doing your claps?
I've,
Did you do your clap
I
on-
have missed every
Was it
single
yesterday,
one.
8?
I've been through this before. I can't, legally speaking, I'm not
Yeah.
allowed to open my windows because the centre of Bristol's air pollution was so bad that the council wouldn't approve opening windows onto the street I live above. So I
probably
can't go
better now,
outside.
though, right?
I'll clap for myself like a madman. I'm clapping for myself in the living room, you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lizards are clapping. We don't know what's going on. We just hear people are clapping, so we just do it. Like,
I found it was a
I
great
can't
opportunity
see.
to practice my clap.
Mm.
yeah, have you
As
got a
hard as
good clap
possible.
now?
If you put your
I've got a
fingers
fucking
into
solid
your
clap,
palm,
and, like,
yeah.
I feel like I was probably one of the loudest clappers, and I've kind of made that a point. Because
Well,
there's a
right.
building opposite me, which
Claps.
is just like a clean, like flat surface that is bouncing off. I'm like fucking getting the best clap out there. It is ricocheting
Very
off my hand.
acoustic.
Everyone's hearing my clap, and they go, "God, I better fucking clap." So I feel like I was
Nice.
in my area.
That man
making the
loves
most
the
noise.
NHS.
You're like the town crier
Without using
of
pots and
clappers.
pans. Yeah.
Yeah,
Without using extra materials. Yeah.
right.
babies.
So you still get outblasted by the pots and pans crew then?
Yeah, those fuckers don't stop. They're just too loud.
Relentless.
You can't compete.
Relentless.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding,
A
ding,
pot of-
ding, ding, ding.
Pots and pans have nothing on my hands, unfortunately. They just beat me every time. I mean, I can get a good clap,
Yeah,
but it's not good enough.
yeah. Still not
I'll
a pot
work
and pan, is it?
No.
You should call the police on them.
You think the NHS are happy with pots
Those
and
guys aren't
pans?
that doesn't count as clapping. They did nothing for the
They're
NHS
using
tonight.
pots and
Nothing.
pans. They're causing a public nuisance.
No one can hear the
Just
sirens
making noise.
of the ambulances.
Not
They actually
fucking
need
stomp,
to get
all
through.
right?
No one can fucking
Doing it for a
hear.
reason.
It's so loud.
Progresses to the point where there's summary executions, firing lines for those caught doing pots and pans during a clapping.
Stop it.
Public clapping.
Or it goes the other way, and everyone gets like a really cool rendition of Stomp at their own balconies. So why
I
not?
don't think that's happened yet. I don't think the UK's had any cool
you think
moments.
the nation will become percussionists?
Maybe.
Yeah, everyone suddenly is like, God, I can get the fucking hang of
Sick
this.
rhythm here, guys.
Coming out of this
God,
this
the beat.
lockdown, they're like, God, I
The
can
rhythm.
really rattle a pan around.
Yeah.
I'm most worried still for the retail workers in this whole thing because
Yeah.
they have to still go to work and yeah, they got a job to fulfill and they can't exactly furlough it. They're at
No,
at
yeah.
most risk. They see literally hundreds of people a day handling all of their groceries, which they then have to
Yep.
clean when they
They
get
touch
home.
each individual one as they scan it. Yep.
It's terrifying. I wouldn't like to be in retail right now, but I'm thankful they're there because I need my cereal. And
Cereal. Cereal's the priority for you,
And
is
peanut
it?
butter.
Of all the food groups.
Need my Weetabix.
Sugary carbs for me, please.
I need my cinnamon grahams.
Just go
I
in
do
there. Just
fucking
buy
love
one.
cinnamon grahams.
My essential shop is some ice cream and some Cheerios.
I need this.
Look them in the
This is
eye.
essential.
Yeah, I needed this. This is my essential shop. Don't judge me.
Well,
Don't touch
wasn't there a police
We all
officer
take risks. I'm taking mine with diabetes.
He warned the UK. It's been revoked now, but he warned the UK that the police will start checking trolleys for necessary items. But
Wow.
that's
Really?
very quickly got revoked. I think he was just a little annoyed.
Life hack: use a basket or use 2 baskets.
It's not a trolley.
Yeah.
Loophole.
How loophole.
But people definitely aren't respecting the 2-meter thing in shops. I mean, it's almost impossible in some shops.
Yeah.
Like they put they put those screens up in front of checkouts, which makes sense. That's a really good idea. But at the end of the day, they are like you say, handling every single item and then passing it back to you.
Or you get the fucking people that take up the whole aisle, and they're just browsing around, looking. They got their trolley horizontal, so you can't go past, and they're just like they don't really know what they're picking up. They're just looking, and I'm like, you're just blocking this whole aisle. So what do? Do I like scoot past you, or do I wait 10 minutes for you to fucking make a
do you
decision?
take the risk and kind of just go, wow, this feels normal anyway. I've done this before. I've done this. I've passed people a million times before. I can do this.
Yeah.
And you just brush past them, just edge, and no touching.
I think this whole situation has exacerbated the English condition of quiet outrage and pseudo patience. You know, so like you know how like we're all like this. We're all like, oh no, of course. Oh sorry. Like the first thing we'll say when we like somebody bumps into us is often sorry to them.
Yeah.
Like, oh sorry mate.
Whoops.
And they'll be like, oh sorry mate. But if they don't say sorry to you and you've already said sorry to them and they just bump past you, just like you fucking asshole, you've made an enemy for life.
Yeah.
Like you know, like and so like when you're in like supermarkets and stuff and like you're queuing or being like a good citizen and being like, right, I'll keep out the way, and then somebody doesn't even realize you've done that, again it's like you fucking asshole. Like and so now when we've got people doing this and some people are trying to follow the rules. Yeah. It's a weird one, but it's certainly funny.
Yeah.
Last thing there was last time I went shopping, there was a family of 3, and they were and this woman was just walking really close to other people, just not even acknowledging the fact that people had fucking face masks on. People were kind of like making sure they were far away. She's just walking towards them like it's nothing. Like just she didn't give a shit. And she was super chavvy as well. Like I mean, it was the type of person who just probably didn't even realize what was going on. She's like, "Why is he wearing masks for? What's going on?" Probably didn't pick up a fucking paper. It's like she was just oblivious. And it's like, oh, I have to run away from you in the fucking shop. I doubt she washed her hands.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you're doing everything you can, but all it takes is someone else. It's like driving on the road, right? You can be the best driver in the world, but you just get an idiot that's negligent and kills you, but then they survive. It's like
world's not fair.
World's not fair.
But I'll tell you what, the sound of a cough hits differently now.
Yeah.
You hear someone cough. Where'd that come from?
Well, I've got a fucking neighbour
Did I go near there?
who does like those obnoxious sneezes, like achoo, and like makes it a real fucking statement piece. It's like that is not something to do nowadays because you're making yourself.
What are they doing it over your fence?
I could just hear them out there, really
Doesn't
loud.
help that it's hay fever season, man. It's starting to get there.
Yeah, but like, you don't need to make a song and dance if you're sneezing, do you? You can certainly suppress it a little bit more.
I hate suppressing my sneezes. It makes me feel like I'm going to get an aneurysm. I've done it before. It's just like it just feels like something's imploded in my head. I've lost a few brain
Ross,
cells.
from what I can tell from your vascular system, that's quite possible. Because like you seem to be running at pressure. So with the whole face tensing thing,
exactly.
I wouldn't hold them in.
Let them
You
out.
just sneeze one day and just drop down instantly dead. Jesus, he had an aneurysm.
Jesus. Yeah, in an urgent situation, like I'm in the quiet place in the film, and I have to hold my sneeze, and I just end up dying on the spot because of an
He dies instead to his sneeze.
He sneezed inside. He took one for the team.
Better than whatever was chasing him, I guess. I don't know.
At least he was quiet. Hero.
There's a way out. I just gotta hold in a sneeze. No.
You'll die.
Don't do it. Come on. They'll kill us all if I sneeze out loud. That's a good film, though. I recommend it
still
for
not
anyone who
seen
hasn't seen it. It's a shame the second one is kind of pushed back so that the virus and shit.
Shame.
You just can't get enough John Krasinski. I know what you're about.
Have you seen
He's
his?
a great guy. I love The Office. He was great in The Office. He was great in Jack. Is it Jack Reacher?
Yes.
Or am I thinking of the
Yeah,
one
it
Tom-
is, yeah.
Tom
No, it
Cruise?
is Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher,
Yeah, no, there's no.
Have you seen these?
Wait, no.
yeah.
No, was it Jack Reacher?
It was.
Like
Jack
you say, I
Reacher,
think
yeah.
that is Tom Cruise.
John-
It's
Jack
Ryan.
It's so close.
Jack Ryan. Jesus Christ, they're so similar.
Yeah, but in terms of what the theme is, well, kind of similar
Yeah,
vibe.
John Ryan.
Have you seen that John Krasinski's done his own YouTube channel called The Super Good News?
Yeah. Because his first one had Steve Carell in it, right?
Second one had Steve Carell in it, actually.
I can't remember. Yeah.
I know the third one. Sorry, the first one was him saying this is good news, and then the second one was a Hamilton thing for a kid.
Yeah, some
who
good
came
news.
out of chemotherapy. Some good news. Sorry, and then the third one, yes, Steve Carell. It's quite nice. Nice content.
Yeah, it's uplifting, wholesome stuff in this.
Whoa,
current...
did he steal? He stole our famous Bristolian's idea, though. That's Russell Howard's idea.
Is it?
No?
Really?
Russell Howard's Good News was a TV show where he would do comedy and stuff, but then he would also find like nice stories and things going on.
Let's be honest.
And
it's not
you know,
like...
he's
sure
from
there's other
Bristol,
people, yeah.
guys. So we need to territorially defend that as a Bristol idea.
All right.
Um,
let's propagate that
I'm
idea.
not a massive
So it
fan.
looks like John
Only-
Krasinski's made an enemy for life. Is all I'm
Enemy
saying.
for life. This is
Enemy
our
for
passive,
life.
aggressive response to that. You
Annoyingly
betrayed
gets
us.
Hollywood stars on.
Yeah, true.
He's got the one up there.
Though Russell Howard does
Welcome
this
back
weird
to
like,
Enemy for Life.
celeb thing as well, doesn't he? He has like people in his...
Yeah, but obviously John Krasinski has access to a lot higher tier of entertainer than Russell Howard does, unfortunately.
And his wife's...
But then that's what you get for being a bong-eyed Bristolian,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Well, that's
True.
it. Yeah. A bomb eye.
Sorry?
Bomb.
He
or
talks
boggle?
about it
Boggle eye?
himself.
Goggle? Bomb eye.
Bong eye. No, he goes on about how his funny eye and stuff like that. He's talking about, he jokes about it himself. I'm not just being mean for the sake of being mean.
No, it sounds like you're being horrific to someone. So
Yeah.
there you go. But talking about good
yeah.
news, it's Good Friday today. Did you even realize it was a bank holiday? I completely forgot.
Nope.
Personally.
Nope.
I did because I ordered something on Amazon and it's not going to be here till Tuesday, and that irritated me. That once again we are, you know, we're recognizing a religious festival.
Yeah, go
Well,
on.
luckily, some
Easter,
places in
mate.
America are still letting churches continue as normal, so that's fine, isn't it? It's good.
Trott,
Yeah.
why don't you tell us the story of Easter?
Right,
Yeah,
so as far as I'm concerned,
Cheers,
Jesus died on the cross, right?
Right.
At some point between then and him pulling a huge rock aside and coming out, he turns into a bunny and lays eggs?
Yeah,
Is that something to
Wait,
do with
Jesus
that?
is gay.
I think
Jesus
so. I
gay?
think that's what it's implying, potentially. I don't know. But
Super
there's
gay.
something to do with Jesus coming back, rebirth, and
Came back,
eggs,
right? Okay.
and Easter Bunny. I think the
And
Romans
he
really
came out
tried
with chocolate
to
around his face, right?
shoehorn paganism into Christianity, and this is the butchered result of that, right?
For paganism.
Quite possibly, yeah. Easter was, I think it's Istari, who's the pagan god of rebirth. So it comes from something along these lines. And
Were they gay?
No,
not
no,
sure.
she was a goddess, I think.
Easter. Cool.
But yeah,
What was? I think the Virgin Mary was.
What?
what a
Yeah,
virgin.
Well, she wouldn't go near Joe. Was it Joe? What's his name? Joseph? Yeah.
Joey.
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 Big Joe. Joe boy.
What if it was the other way around and she had to steal some of his jizz and that's how it was immaculate?
So it was like wow. It was theft.
The old pastry
Theft of a
baster
high-
technique. The old the old meat baster.
Did they have
I just-
those back then?
I think
Or was
so.
it just a,
Yeah.
kind of a suck and blow? scenario, which I feel would have equally similar.
Oh my god. Sorry,
Viability.
that's
Why not?
insensitive to your
Find the
beliefs,
tools, do it yourself.
but we're just
True.
messing.
Trot.
True.
I'm just saying.
Ah,
Sorry,
yeah,
Joe.
joking.
man.
You're messing about.
I mean,
but yeah, there
you
is
know,
at
they
least-
discovered a battery in modern day Iraq like 200 years before the birth of Jesus. So I don't think a turkey baster is that far off in terms of potential.
I guess so. I just feel like
Yeah.
I now need to know when the turkey baster was invented. Which I don't. Do many people look up that? When was the turkey?
Well, look up when the
baster?
bellows was invented, because the bellows is essentially a similar device, isn't it? Bellows, sorry. Not billows.
All right. Okay.
bellows.
So let's see.
all that information is
Turkey
just streaming
baster.
onto Ross's face right now. That vivid,
Patent
bright,
examined by
non-dark
Timothy F.
mode
Simone.
screen.
It's very bright. Yeah. There was a patent
You
for
got
it.
a light on, haven't you?
I do have a desk lamp on my face. I'm also using a camera which hopefully it stops the white balancing from fucking up all the time. Because otherwise
good
I'd be
camera.
orange as shit
It's a
right
great
now.
camera. You'll never see it if you're
Fantastic
listening.
camera. It's a GH5.
Wait, when was the turkey baster
So-
invented?
These
And we
are
accuse
way too early.
Triforce of talking shit every week.
I know. We're talking about turkey basters and when they were invented. So similar documents 20. These are still way too recent. God, I'm looking at like patent like documents here. Right, let's look at Wikipedia. Fuck, there's no specific date on it, guys. Look, I don't want to spend all this time trying to find it. What's this one?
Did you not just Google when was the turkey
There's a
baster
form-
invented?
I did, and there's a lot of options here. There's no simple.
Jury's
yes,
out.
All
no
right,
one.
let me
Let's
find out
ask-
when the bellows were
Yeah,
invented.
You know, scientists have
Okay.
been arguing about this for millennia.
5th
When
century.
When was the
was
turkey
it?
baster invented?
When?
So
Please.
bellows were invented 250 years before the birth of Christ, in fucking
Oh.
quotation marks,
Okay.
air quotes. So yes, it's quite possible that the Virgin Mary could have
Yeah.
used some form of turkey baster slash bellow device to
Yeah.
impregnate herself
Suck it up with the bellow.
without Joseph knowing.
Okay.
Is there a potential?
She could have also used donkey jizz.
I mean,
Go on, Trott. Yes,
hasn't
sir.
it been
Oh,
said
donkey
that
juice, yeah.
Mary Magdalene was just slept with multiple people anyway? Was quite open with that.
Mary Magdalene was a
Mary
different
Magdalene's
person
someone else.
to
Someone else.
Oh, that's
to
Jesus'
Mary Queen.
Partner, wasn't it?
And you're
Yeah,
not
that's
wrong.
right.
The
Virgin Mary.
Magdalene is
Yeah.
sometimes called simply the Magdalene.
I got them mixed up then. Yeah,
Madeline.
I did.
What you got to remember is this is all Christian Science, guys. So you're excused from needing to have accuracy or cohesion, because
Sounds
know.
like a slight.
well,
So-
it kind
so
of
you
partly
mean to
is,
say-
I suppose. But like you're asking from reason from an unreasonable story, aren't you? Is what I'm getting at.
What's the science though? Have we proved that there is a Jesus?
I don't know, but I've seen several buildings in the past saying that they're buildings of and doctors of Christian Science, so it must be a science chart.
Did Norse
Maybe
mythology
it's a
come
form of-
from aliens from Asgard?
Oh. Now that you
Um,
say it out loud, it does sound like it might be true.
Are they just aliens with superior technology that came down to fight the frost giants
And then left,
and left again?
leaving just a legacy. I think
no,
I saw
like,
four
you-
recently.
especially if
what
you
you're
look at
saying is completely true.
Norse mythology is very like you can kind of see where it came from in a lot of respects. Like the whole like world tree and shit like that. Like they took things that were a big part of their basic life and made them mythical, right? It's like the hammer, Thor's hammer. It's like a hammer is something that the average Norse person before the religion was fully developed probably saw, and because their technology was quite simple, it's something they could fixate on and create. I don't know, Trott. I'm not a
You're not-
what's they call the study of people?
Stuff.
Man.
No, come on, both of you.
Manologist.
No googling. It's when you go to university, you study it. It's when you study people.
Epistemology. Something like that.
Anthropology.
Anthropology. Right.
I think epistemology is the study of
The dick.
knowledge. It's the study of knowledge, I think epistemology is, while
Right.
etymology is the study of words construction.
Right.
I'm
Cool.
learning everything today.
There's a lot of education
Yes.
today. So religion, right? This is a fucking
Go on.
thick subject that
Yeah.
we often touch upon.
Yeah.
What beliefs do you have, or are you dead inside?
I think I'm dead inside, Trott. I'm definitely dead inside.
I think there's something
I
horrible.
don't know. I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's a generational thing, or it could be just a British thing. I feel like a lot of people I know, or most people I know, don't believe in any of that stuff.
Is that because
They're all
we're
atheists.
very like evidence based? We need to know.
I don't know.
We need to
I don't
see
know.
the facts in order to believe something.
I think as time goes on,
I
and,
think
you know,
you can
younger generations
you
grow
can
up into
compare
this
those.
world.
Mm.
Go on.
I don't think it's an English thing. I think it might be a Western Europe thing, and Western, obviously, like some of the states as well. Like, because like, man, you go to Africa, like, or at least in Kenya,
What?
people are still
Have you been?
very, very religious.
I feel like if you hadn't been there, you don't know.
The idea, well, yeah, that's true. I've been to Kenya,
Yeah.
but the idea that like having conversations about God not being real is still not a thing really done in Kenya, like in casual conversation. You know, like you would either insult somebody by doing it or
It's
upset
kinda
somebody.
dangerous.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you probably shouldn't do it. And equally, like it's just used as a tool for control. Is all it's used for. Like that
it
is
comes from a good
one of-
place. Like the need.
no,
to
not
understand.
really.
Mm,
It doesn't come
can-
from
I
anywhere.
think
I think some people use
it
it for
depends,
good and
'cause
some people use it for bad.
there's a
think
spectrum to a degree, because like
Yeah.
with this current issue with the virus and people going to massive churches to continue as normal, like not all Christians are doing that. But there are people who are aware of the real life situation going on in the world, and they're not going, oh, let's go to a big mass gathering. Whereas there are people who are hardcore into it, who are just like so, I don't want to say brainwashed, but they believe so strongly that they're protected by this invisible force that there is no evidence for.
Well, I think more people are susceptible to manipulation and that sort of thing than others. Like take Darren Brown's stage shows, for example. It can work on some people but not others, and Darren Brown is aware of the psychological differences so that he can pick the right audience member that are susceptible to being hypnotized and you know malleable in that way. You know, he can only have a certain person that can go on his show and then jump in front of a bullet. It takes a certain kind of psyche to do that, to be able to build that character into them. They need to be susceptible. And some people maybe look for a leader in that way to tell them what is right and wrong and
I think that's
where to lead their life.
To tell you
And
that
some people exploit that.
Murder's a bad one, guys. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a given. But at
Otherwise,
the
you go
same
to a
time-
bad place.
Yeah. But then it's like, if you murder to defend your home, at what point is that breaking the rules of my religion, etc., etc.? If it's the defensive killing, you know? That's
Well, there are
where,
people, I mean, in the UK that have gone to prison for defending themselves in their own home
Yeah.
for doing the same thing.
But in
Isn't
the
that
US,
nuts?
it's you know, stand your ground, isn't it?
No, I think there are
And it's-
cases in America as well where, like, if somebody has, invaded their house and
Well,
they've,
it's
used
state
their
dependent,
right to
right?
defend, and they've still had to, have a jail sentence,
Right. Okay.
which is kind of nuts if you're in your own home and someone has tried to attack and kill you or injure you or steal from you.
Yeah. I guess it's.
I think you should be able to defend yourself without having to then spend God knows how much time in prison.
True. So you're
But then
saying,
maybe these things could be flipped on their head, and you can frame someone. If
You
I
just want
say,
an
"Hey,
excuse to use
Chris
that
Rock, come
decorative
round."
sword.
I think so.
Yeah, Chris Rock
And then
come
you just
round.
do him with
and,
a decorative sword.
and I make it really difficult for him to get in. He's like really desperate to get in. Kicks open the door, and then bam! I'm
That's
like
a sign of
fucking
aggression.
Kill Bill there.
Oh, you kick my door in, so I get to stab you.
Yeah, I'm like finally I got to use it.
So
You're right,
technically, you
mate.
manipulated me into a situation where you could exploit me to murder me,
Indeed.
to force me to act in that way, which allowed you to circumvent the law, saying that, well, he
Yeah.
started being aggressive to me first.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
it's all
you can't
psychological.
reply. You can't argue. So
Well, you guys have got to consider proportionate force as well. Like that's another big element
Yeah.
of it. Like whether or
Of
not
course,
the force
yeah.
you're applying to defend yourself is proportionate to the threat. Like if an 8-year-old runs in and says, "Give me all your coins," and you shoot him in the face, like
son of a
not really
bitch.
very-
Yeah.
it's not very proportionate, is it?
What does the 8-year-old
So there is
need
that.
to do
Well, no,
for
but
you to
then
be able to
have it,
shoot
like-
them?
Like since this pandemic's gone down, obviously Americans have rushed to buy guns because of if society breaks down or whatever, they can defend themselves. It's more about defending themselves against people coming into their homes, which I think, if everyone around me owned guns, I definitely probably would protect myself in a similar way. But it's more likely there's going to be more accidents because of that. Do you not think?
Risk, yeah, more risk to
Because
it.
now somebody who probably never owned a gun before now owns one, and bam, mistakes can happen.
True. But then that's that individual's responsibility, isn't it, to themselves to be safe with that thing.
But you can't trust everybody to have that.
But
well,
I'm
you have
to
to.
society where that is commonplace.
You do have to.
Yeah, just be happy that we don't have guns, because that's just a problem that we don't have to compute as a society. But I don't think that
one less thing.
The upside of not having guns is that we don't have to deal with that problem and that risk, which is an awesome thing as a citizen of a society. But the downside is, personally, I think that you should be allowed to own weapons. Why not? As long as you as an individual are responsible and but the thing, the working theory is, and it's probably true, people can't be trusted. But I don't know where you draw the line. Do you nanny people all the time and say, no, you can't have this and no, you can't have that because you can't, this subsection of people can't be trusted to have these things? It's essentially political opinion and a political ideology in that, personally, I feel that people should be free to have whatever they want as long as it doesn't affect other people. I do, however, understand that it's hard to implement that. And I am grateful that we live in England where we don't have many guns, because whilst I like guns and whilst I think I'd be a responsible owner, I do like the fact that I don't have to worry about somebody shooting me most of the time. I think
that's you just got to weigh it up, haven't you, and see the consequences of having it versus not having it. Giving up that freedom, so to speak, has more benefits than it is negatives.
And you can barely trust people to wash their hands, someone pointed out. That's a good point. If you consider the panic and stuff people have been doing just to buy shopping and toilet roll and whatever, it's a struggle to trust a mass of people in such a way. But I don't know.
And that's because
that's a more complex issue.
Yeah, exactly. It's to do with discrepancies in our wealth division and stuff like that, isn't it? It's just we have a very uneven society, and that causes some people to react pretty fucking weird and crazily and, quite frankly, sheepishly. But it's our own fault. Anyway,
back to Easter, right?
I wonder if my lizard's done a big shit yet.
Hopefully. Easter,
back to Easter, Trott. You've got some Easter facts.
Scholars believe that the New Testament gives no information when the year Jesus was born, right? But most scholars think that they celebrated December 25th because it was the date of the winter solstice, according to the Roman calendar. So that was kind of the turning point of a new solstice. So it kind of landed conveniently when Jesus was born, which is, again, kind of a pagan thing beforehand, and it's also about spring and bringing back life of plants and trees. And the Easter goes back to pre-Christian goddess Easter, like Smith said, Eostie, E-O-S-T-I-E, who celebrated the beginning of spring. The only reference to this goddess comes from the writings of the Venerable Bede, a British monk who lived in the 7th century, early 8th century. So there you go. There is a connection there.
Fact.
Yeah, I've got so many facts here from a spurious website which I haven't fact-checked. So there you go.
Do you actually have any Easter eggs, Trott?
No, none.
I don't actually have any.
None. We could melt some chocolate into a rudimentary egg, right? If you've got chocolate in the house.
Yeah, it doesn't work very well, though.
No?
No point. It's not the same.
Wait, no, I'm thinking of the other way. So I've tried to melt down Easter egg chocolate into a bar before, and that didn't work very well.
Well, you need like
what
an
reason
egg
did
shape.
you do that for?
Just wanted thicker bits of chocolate, so I was like 13 at the time,
right?
But I do like my alchemy, and I melted down some Easter egg chocolate and then tried to mix it with milk.
Okay.
It didn't work.
Make like a ganache.
Partly because I just wasn't gradually cooling the chocolate enough. I put it in a pan, then it started to burn at the bottom of the pan because I'd put the pan on like a full heat.
Trying to
I'm like,
temper chocolate at 13.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nutbag.
but like,
Fucking hell, it's not easy to do.
no. Well, I fucked it up royally. I burnt the chocolate to the bottom of the pan, and the milk was just had bits of hard black chocolate in it, and it wasn't good.
Yep, yep.
So yeah.
There's your problem. You could probably do it
There's your
again now,
problem right
though, with a greater knowledge.
Ironically, you could buy, or you could just go and buy probably a cheaper bar of chocolate and actually get the better result out of it. That's the thing now. Who needs an
Yeah,
egg?
but I
Who
was
needs
I was
egg-shaped
13,
foods?
and I was a penniless fool at 13, and
course.
I had these Easter eggs that I'd been gifted. I'd eaten all the chocolate bars, and then I was eating this terrible Easter egg chocolate. Like, it was from. It's not always Cadbury's chocolate, is it? With Easter eggs
No,
when you're younger,
no.
sometimes you'll get like random ones from an aunt or something, and you're like, "Where's this chocolate from?" And they're like, "It's from Robert Dias," and you're like, "The cleaning shop." This
That's
isn't
weird
going to
that
be
you got
good
it from there.
chocolate.
Yeah, I was picking up some vacuum bags and saw some eggs.
Thought I'd buy you an Easter egg. Oh god, it's really poor quality chocolate. So I tried to turn it into better quality chocolate.
Flaky, it's white and flaky. It's awful.
I
Yeah.
appreciate your creativity and activity to like actually do something about your need. You could have just been like, oh fuck it, I'll just eat the egg, but instead you try to make a bar out of it, and that's a very proactive approach. And you fucked up,
Thanks.
Uh-huh.
and ultimately you learned a lesson that you'll never do that again, and it's a waste of time.
I learned the lesson that I can't polish a turd. I can't turn shit chocolate into good chocolate.
Yeah,
I learned my place that day, Trot. I did. I learned my place in society. I learned.
in
I
the
went.
culinary world.
You can never turn your rusty iron sword into that of gold. It's not your place.
Don't polish that.
Then I
turd.
started to chafe, Trot. I started to chafe against society and the feudal hierarchy I've been placed upon.
Yes, and now look at you,
Now look at me, a king in his own land.
surrounded by lizards,
Lizards,
dragons.
my dragons. Mother, one day I will tame a dragon, and she'll shit all over me all the time.
Oh, how she laughed! But now look at me. Now who's the one laughing atop his dragon? This tiny gecko.
Yeah.
So I found a couple of weird news. Well, not weird news stories, but they're related to kind of these meetings on Zoom and
Nice.
other things. Other
Privacy.
software. I think Zoom has
Hacked.
become massively popular, and yeah, there is issues with their end-to-end encryption. However, they've had some issues on this. This is the headline for this one: Zoom meeting hijacked by Mike Coxlong, Bendover, and Porn. So there was supposed to be a meeting about Yeovil's plans to build another 800 homes.
Yeovil?
It was turned into a fast.
Yeovil?
Yeah, Yeovil. Yep, they're making another
sake.
800 homes in Yeovil. Isn't that nice? And it turns out in that meeting, one of the people was called Bendover and Mike Coxlong, and they could be heard just playing porn in the background. They're just playing porn in this meeting with how many people were there? About 10 people in that meeting.
Local council.
Oh, 47 people. 47 people in that meeting.
Wow.
Oh my god. So there's some people just like, you know what, I'm going to hijack this and put on the best porn I can find. So those were hijacked, which is lovely. If you are aware of the audio, not podcast, it's like a audio drama series called Archers. You know the Archers?
Yep.
Yeah.
They had a
Longest
fan
running.
event. Yeah, they had a fan event, and that was invaded by Nazis and pornography as well.
Oh my
In
god.
this very similar setting. So they're using Zoom as well.
What a
But
combo.
then in come a few other people who star
Nazis and porn.
One of them was being called the N-word constantly throughout the thing. Imagine that. You're just there, just like a bunch of fans saying, "I can't wait to talk about the Archers." It's like, no, you're not talking about the Archers because this guy's calling me the N-word every 5 seconds, and that one's playing porn. Like, what can you do? Screwed over.
The Zoom's gone from 10 million users at the beginning of the year to 200 million current.
200.
like-
yeah.
What's crazy, right, is the first I even heard of it was when Trott was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to use Zoom."
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck is Zoom? Like, where has everyone heard about it? Why is it being used over like
It's a
other video
business.
services which have had multi-video calling before?" Like,
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
most stable.
I haven't heard
highest
Skype being
quality
mentioned
one.
once.
Yeah, it's the highest
Yeah.
quality, but maybe because of its low user base that has the bandwidth for it. Maybe nowadays, it's not as good quality because everyone's fucking bottlenecking the servers. But it was good quality. A lot of like D&D shows and stuff like that use it on Twitch because it was like a good compromise to not being in the same room.
Yeah.
And
After
it's
this big
free.
company app, right? It's mainly companies that jump
It's a
on it.
very business focused thing. So, yeah. And the free
And
version is like
the-
40 minutes long meetings, so you have to get the pro version.
Oh yeah.
Does Discord not
Okay, yeah.
offer multi-video calling?
I don't think so. I don't think it does.
I have no idea.
You can stream your perspective, but that's about it. Don't know.
But yeah,
Discord's
there's
missing a
there's
trick. Oh, it
surprising
does
that Zoom
apparently.
has
Literally
risen out
it
of all of
does.
this.
Bloody Zoom, eh? Just use vMix, which is it's expensive.
A bit more complex for the average user, I imagine.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's just a full-blown
A little bit.
live vision mixing tool for professionals that costs about $1,600.
Oh fuck, Jesus!
But everyone that
Did you manage to
connects
get
it's
a
free.
cheeky little sneaky key? Did you?
No, not yet. I'm on the 90-day trial, so you can get
Oh.
it for free for 90 days if you want to use
Oh,
it. And then yeah, after that, I'm in talks with vMix because I called them
wow.
out. I called them out. I was annoyed because I was
Yeah.
like, "There's this tool, and I'm on their website, and I know this is
Yeah.
this is their prerogative. They can do whatever they like with their tool, but it said that there were discounts for churches using this tool."
Mm.
And I was like,
Oh,
what does it take to be a church then? Because I have some words to say on behalf of Hat
Yeah.
Films. The truth needs to be said. And
exactly. We could definitely
I made a
make that a church.
tongue-in-cheek jab at them, and I got a response that
Fuck,
you know,
nice.
and they DM me saying like, "Yeah, well, so who are you and what the fuck are you saying?" But they said
What church are you from?
they did.
And
They
the
said
truth.
if I did the 90-day trial and then I took photos of my setup and discussed it at length, like how I'm using it, they might give me a key. So there you go.
Fair enough.
It works.
Yes, that's yeah. I mean, can we make a church? Is that something we can just do?
Well, we
Like, what
either
forms
that
do we have to fill in?
or we could push the Church of the Jedi. That's the easy one.
Oh,
That's
okay.
already established.
That's established. Is it less paperwork, less red
A lot
tape
of people choose
for us?
that when they're of their religious preferences when they send forms to the government, don't they? It's funny.
I think the challenge is when becoming a church.
Yeah.
Is that you need to prove that the money you're making is going back into funding the church or spreading the word or preaching or whatever. You know, that's the challenge. And then it's the ones that are doing the televangelism and shit like that when they're like, well, of course this private jet is it's for spreading the word. Like, and so that's kind of how they excuse it.
God needs me to spread the word, yeah.
It just feels like they're closing their eyes and saying, "Please keep fucking me in the arse." Though, don't you think if you've got a private jet, do you not think that's starting to say, "Wow, they need millions and millions"?
What, the
that's
followers
weird.
or
Hand
the-
it over. Please
government?
keep fucking me in the arse. Please keep doing it. It's so
think
nuts.
again,
The
it's like-
televangelist stuff is fucking crazy.
It is crazy,
Yeah.
but I can kind of see it from the perspective of someone that's vulnerable in that community.
Yeah.
Being
I
taken
can
advantage
see-
of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see how
Televangelist
form.
success is a demonstration of how many vulnerable, fucked up people there are out there. Like it really is. It's like
Yeah.
the people are just exploited. Like,
Imagine
but
if
it
you're
just
in
shows
a-
how easy it is to exploit.
Yeah, imagine if your state's heavily religious and then you're in a cul-de-sac of very devout Christians, but you have some questions about that, but your life is Christianity, and to speak to anyone around you, friends, family, whatever, about like, I'm not sure about this whole God thing. It's kind of like Smith in Kenya. I can't believe he was there. It's amazing. You should tell us more about that. But
I was in Kenya.
that even like going against the word of like the man at the moment that's like
Yeah.
preaching in your local town.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how could you portray us like that? And you don't want to be that odd one out,
Well,
you know? Fall
So
into line.
there was one thing that happened. So because I had the shits when I was in Kenya at my friend's wedding, I wasn't drinking, so I was very compos mentis. And one of my close friends from home had also come over to our friend's wedding, was also there, and he was drinking like crazy. And we were like dancing, and like there was music playing and stuff. And like we would like jokingly like we almost pretended to like dance together, like you know like soulfully. That you know over here we'd be like, yeah, two guys dance together, that's not a big deal. But homosexuality is illegal in Kenya. And like literally,
Oh,
we
right, so
almost
you
did
were-
like we were dancing together, like sensually. like there would have been a lot of people in
Absolutely.
that crowd that have been like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Let's
And
kill
like
this.
you're just like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." Things aren't always seen the way I
It's not
see
okay
them.
here.
So liberal here in
Yeah.
the UK.
But it
Well,
was
there
super
actually-
sexy. We just
Was
went
it
to some
really?
toilets and did it.
No, we've got to get this out of system. So let's go. Let's go to the toilet.
I'm a stickler for rule breaking. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So hot.
Well, there was actually, obviously they pretty much banned every kind of mass anything really. So weddings are off the cards in South Africa.
Mass extinctions. Finally.
They tried.
Banned them.
They tried to secretly have a wedding. They just went ahead with it, and they had
Who
like
did?
50 guests, and then they all got arrested.
Oh my
In
god.
South Africa, there's a bride and groom who just went through with their wedding. 'Cause obviously, weddings cost fuckloads, and a lot of
Yeah.
people now have to cancel or move things around.
Yeah.
They just went ahead, all got arrested. So a bride and groom are just seen in this image of them just being carried away in police cars.
Was
What
it
a wedding!
worth
And
it?
that's a memorable wedding. Do you know
Very
what I
Yeah,
mean?
won't
I
forget
mean,
that
obviously,
day
yeah,
in a hurry,
definitely
will you?
shame on them for doing that. Of course, they're all sat like 2 seats apart from each other. Kind of defeats the purpose, but sure.
Yeah.
It's memorable. That's a memorable. I'm going to remember that. Oh, they were arrested. Yeah. The only time I was arrested was at my wedding. Bam.
It's a funny old
Memories.
story. Several family members died because they all got COVID from our wedding, but
That's
we
it.
got
Well, that's
arrested. That
where
was funny.
That's where it takes a sick turn. Yes, unfortunately. That was the price they clearly were willing to pay.
Oh, I had to invite
Yeah.
Granddad.
Come on, Grandad.
Come on, I know you're very vulnerable, but
Um,
it's my wedding. Damn it.
Even more despicable would be the landlords in, is this Australia? Where is this? Oh no, it's in Hawaii. Have been telling women they can pay for their rent with, guess what?
Oh, for fuck's sakes. TikTok dances.
Toilet
isn't it?
paper.
It's TikTok
TikTok
dances.
dances. You are absolutely right. No, it's sexual favors. Like, isn't that nuts? That's the first thing they go to. Oh, well, you don't have to pay rent, but they go to that level. That's a
Yeah,
fucking.
I've
that's a
heard
crime.
this before. Yeah.
I mean, it happens anyway. Like, I saw a documentary on it not long ago. Happens in the UK, happens everywhere, I'm sure, where they have kind of agreements where they don't have to pay rent at all, and they just basically just have to have sex with this disgusting man.
It's fucking, yeah, it's gross because
Don't get any ideas, Trott.
it's horrible because it's well, I don't rent anymore, so I won't have a landlord
Nice.
coming on to me. It's a shame.
Okay. Well, it's the other way around.
Anything
of
we
course.
can arrange?
For fuck's sake, I was trying to make a serious point. It's just gone now. I've lost the steam of it.
Nope. Shit.
Something about them being in a vulnerable position because they're renting. They need to have a house, right, or a flat to live in, and they are struggling, and therefore the only way out is this landlord is got the blockade on that, and it's fucking
Yeah.
gross.
Just taking
fucking
advantage.
gross.
Yeah, people are horrible, guys.
Yeah.
This is like a podcast of you guys waking up to how grim
Yeah.
reality is.
Yeah.
I mean, I was aware of it. It's just now that like it's more of a disaster out there. These things are coming to the surface a bit more, aren't they?
I'm just glad
even
there's
more than
people out
normal,
there that
like
care
US
so much
corruption
about
and all that shit.
big cats that they can keep them all in one place nice and safe. And I'm glad there's people out there that do that, you know?
I'm amazed that series has done amazingly well on Netflix. The Tiger King. Was it
Yeah.
called Tiger King?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
Number
almost
one
like
show
that.
in the US.
That Joe Exotic guy is almost being held on like this pedestal of like. I can't tell if people are enjoying the fact he's a maniac who killed tigers and
It seems to happen. It happened with
fed
the
drugs to young teens.
what was that other murder?
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
Marion
much.
mystery?
Yeah, it's so horrifying you can't look away. I think is why
Yeah.
people like it.
But on social media, everywhere people are dressing as this guy and like almost like he's like a hero in some way, or like kind of some sort of like figure that should be celebrated. It's like, did they watch it? I feel like
Yeah.
what? And obviously,
Yeah, but
the
Prince
Carole
Harry
Baskin
dressed up
thing
as a
as well.
Nazi. It's the same kind of thing, isn't it? Like people just dress up.
I
It doesn't
guess
really
it's
matter
just-
if
it's
they
just a
care
trend.
if they're a bad person.
It's just a trend.
It's just outrage. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh my god, that's outrageous. Like,
Yeah. I
basically.
think that's it. You'll get a reaction out of it, and it's like, ho, this is funny because I'm not actually directly affected by these things, but
There are
funny
people doing
to-
makeup looks to look like him. That's
And
fucking weird.
someone did a Photoshop of like, oh, I know what Taika Waititi's next big role in his own film's gonna be, and there's Joe Exotic.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But it trivializes what horrible things he did, for sure.
Yeah.
But how is it harmful? Maybe. I don't know.
It's just weird that weird that people are dressing up as him.
Yeah, I think it's again
harmful that
Guy's in
people are
prison.
seeing it. Oh right, I assume.
Yeah, but I guess it doesn't.
Yeah,
really...
but it's all because of that bitch Carol Baskin. Like,
Well, sure.
I've not seen.
I love that the other guy's kind of not
enough.
The other guy kind of created a sex cult with underage
Oh,
girls.
God,
and then
yeah.
was just like
yeah,
he's got away with everything. It's all about.
I'm
Carol
just staying
Baskin
out of it. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Joe Exotic, who was so bizarre and crazy that he kind of stole the show a bit. I mean, he was in a Louis III documentary years before that as well.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah.
they
Big
edited
cats.
out all of the racism that Joe Exotic
Oh, did they?
revealed. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. I didn't
Was
read
that
the
just
article about
because
it.
it was so frequent? It was just annoying to edit out.
Again,
words.
like when you make a documentary, you want to form a narrative, and the narrative of the director was like, I kind of want to make Joe Exotic somewhat approachable and understandable from a level. Maybe racism was one step too far. It's manufactured storytelling. There are facts and stuff in it, but you are being led down a path that the director intended, and they've cut things around to fulfill that story that they want to tell. So not everything you see in a documentary is completely it can never be factual. You can only film from one angle, one perspective, and that person can say what they want to or not want to say.
But what's good is they filmed it over several years, and did they lose all of their footage or some of it? Because obviously that guy was filming some stuff for a separate documentary, wasn't he?
Right.
And he just ended up being a part of this documentary because he was like this down and out director who was just pissed off because it all fucked up.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're trying to create the most interesting story possible. The type of documentary filmmaking, I don't even class it as documentary filmmaking, but reality TV, like fucking Kardashian stuff, where you have this talking heads describing what you literally just saw seconds before. Like that is the worst kind of TV. I hate that. And Netflix kind of did it with there was a documentary about a guy who kept killing cats. And it was so hard to watch because it was done in that style where it's just you cut to this thing, then there's a talking head of a guy going, "Yeah, that's crazy. He did this thing," and then it cuts to another thing, and then somebody else explains exactly the same thing you just saw, and it's just like that's exhausting to watch.
Dragging
and it's
it
over
out.
like 4 episodes. Yeah, it just drags it over several episodes. You're like, just get to the point. But I thought this Tiger one
I
was
think that's
actually
what that's why I was kind of the same of like Making a Murderer and things like that. Like I felt the same way about that show.
episodes.
And this is the first of those shows, this Tiger King show, that has held my interest. I think partly because there is so much footage because they were recording it for like 5 years, and partly because there's so many angles to it, like so many interesting angles, so many crazy people. But yeah, like you said, that Doc Antle guy alone is enough of a psychopath to make a 6-part documentary on, you know. And then there's like it's crazy that they like if you watch the first couple episodes, you're like, okay, this is about him. It's about Joe Exotic. But then they end up doing the whole episodes about these other side characters, and you're like, these side characters are fucking mental as well. Like it is such a tall tale. Like and yes, they're all
private
monstrous.
zoos. Does that kind of
I
person
mean,
go
private
on to be
zoos are.
crazy?
I've got my own private zoo, so I can't comment on that.
Right, and you're fine, clearly.
I'm fine. Look at me. I can stick a comb in my beard and it doesn't go
me,
anywhere.
Mom. Me and my dragons.
Nice.
Well, I think we hit some hard-hitting topics. Is there any other funny things that you want to bring to
Let's
light?
see. I mean, there was a campaign to change the name of Fire Ants to Spicy Boys. Not exactly a big story, but they desperately wanted to change
They are
that.
spicy boys.
Spicy
They
boys.
are spicy.
It's an old story, apparently. That's quite an old story.
Oh shit, spicy boys. All over me.
Are they called Spicy Boys now? I'm being attacked by Spicy Boys.
Oh god, there's a whole nest of spicy boys in my garden.
See, it'd be a much better place. The world will be a better place.
I'm seeing a lot of stories about people speeding as the roads are now clear.
Yeah, that's happening along my road.
I'm hearing it as well.
Yeah.
I'm hearing people rev to the fucking top end.
There's people drag racing
no
along
one's
my
around.
road near me.
Is there?
Yeah.
It's so fucking narrow where you are.
Not literally my road.
You'd think that
like the main
there's
road.
more
Oh,
police
right.
out. out and about now, and obviously there's less people to get in their way to catch those people speeding like maniacs.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
One person
Easy.
defended his 120-mile journey where he sped several times because he said he wanted to go get cheaper bread from London. So he drove from Nottingham to London.
I'll be still by the time I get
Yeah,
home.
cheaper bread. Imagine that. It was £1 cheaper, and you've just spent God knows how many pounds on the fuel to get there. So that doesn't work straight away. You're like, well, that's obviously not true, mate.
How did you forget the fuel economy? Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's could have come up with a better excuse now. But he travelled 110 miles an hour. He's got several fines. So there you go. Don't speed. Don't speed.
Especially not for bread. Not for cheaper bread.
Especially not for bread.
Come on.
I mean, yeah. Maybe if your wife's pregnant, you're desperate to get there, and it definitely is clear, sure. But I'm not a lawmaker, so don't trust anything I say.
It's a lawbreaker.
No, that's a free pass. Now that's a free pass.
That's a free pass. Well, I heard a podcast once. Someone's doing it.
Recording.
Right, honey, we'll leave the last minute. I'm speeding through.
This is my one chance to speed like fucking crazy. And if the police stop me, they have to help me. It's perfect.
We've only got a Corsa. It's wasted.
I've seen it in so many rom-coms where a policeman stops a pregnant lady on the way to a hospital and help him out. And I just thought, it happens.
Yeah.
Happens every time. Anyway.
God, there's another article about somebody licking food again. What is that? What's with that? Man, people are programmed weird in some places. This is Canada. $1,800 worth of items were licked by this woman.
I think there's more going on there than where she is in Canada. I think it's just the person being crazy.
You're hearing cases all the time. People
quite
coughing
funny.
in people's faces.
Well, you know how in like TV shows, like in post-apocalypse scenarios and like The Walking Dead and stuff, where the main characters come across like these absolute psychopaths living in the Fallout world, right? So it's like, wow, this person is so fucking crazy, but that would never exist in real life. And then you're like, this woman's just gone through that because she's heard there's a pandemic on. She's gonna lick every single bit of food in the shop, and you're like, oh, there really are these like totally batshit people out there. Oh,
yeah.
And that's why I want to form a fortress. This is why I want a fortress, because I can be the judge of them. And it doesn't matter. Inside my fortress, even if I'm wrong, in the fortress, I'm right about those people. You get what I mean?
This fortress is...
As long as the whole closed circuit system is mental, that's their standard of not mental. So I can go, you lick fruit, you're not coming in. You're in a relationship with that pram, with that inanimate object. That's okay. Love who you want to love. Come in. It'll be fine in here. Mental is all very relative, isn't it? That's what I'm getting at.
Like you say, it's mental as long as you don't mental onto someone else. If you mental in your own time, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't involve your mental into other people's
I don't know why I went to a pram there with the inanimate object. That was a weird one.
Well,
let's not look too far into that. That sounds like a psychiatric crisis for another day.
Let's just push that one under the carpet and moves right along.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Before we wrap up, are we close to wrapping up?
Well, you're a robot for one.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
robot.
I'm getting a robot from you guys as well. I'm not trying to fix it.
Oh, whatever you did before worked.
No.
We were doing so well, and then you roboted right at the end.
Shit.
Well, either way, I can wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily need Ross to wrap up, but he can just be there in physical presence for the YouTube video. So thank you once again for listening to the podcast. If you're on the podcast service of choice, you can go to YouTube and look for the Hat Chat podcast, where you can see the visuals that go along with this. It's so presentable and so lovely, and you get to see Smith with a massive beard right now and a huge ass comb that just sticks into it throughout this podcast.
That's it. That is the biggest selling point we've got.
That's what we got. And yeah, thanks for listening. Please send in your fingals to hatchat@hat-films.com. Much appreciated. And also, a huge thanks to our patrons. There we go. Patreon. I just want to do the thing. Patreon.com/hatfilms. You are all credited at the end of the video on YouTube, which is why I bring it up. We thank you all for allowing us to continue doing this. We're currently in talks to getting a little sponsor segment into Hat Chats. That would be quite novel. But stay tuned. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time on Friday. And it won't be good anymore. This is the only good Friday of the year. It'll be a bad
We're running
Friday.
out of anything to talk about.
Yeah.
So, yes, next time will be a bad Friday.
Bad Friday. Thank you. And take care of yourselves. And we'll see you all soon. Goodbye.
Indeed.
Bye.